Hello, welcome to Things Lost in My Absence. Absence leaves an imprint, not just on our memories, but on the shape of who we become. This is Things Lost in My Absence, a series of conversations with those who grew up with the echo of a missing parent, whose stories retrace the things lost, the things found, and the quiet resilience of becoming whole, even when no one showed us how. I am your host, Nomad Jazz, and this is where silence speaks. Today, we have a special guest. This is Tony, my other cousin.
What up? The favorite cousin. Get that right. Get that right.
I can't stand you. Yes.
Leader of this so-called group of people that are related.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself, your favorite
Oh
cousin.
my god. Dad of five little crazy ass kids. Diesel mechanic, bus driver, adventurer, like I don't know, all of it. Anything you can think of, that's me. Just in a nutshell. Crazy ass cousin.
Um,
In a
You said
nutshell.
not me. You said not me. So, all right, are you ready? You done got your liquor. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. Um, when you think of your father, what is the first image or feeling that comes up?
Ooh, damn, damn.
I,
Um,
I know.
whew, there could be a lot of things, but for like the main one, I like when it comes to name, it's frustration, like deep frustration. And there was at some point there was a lot of anger, like a lot of anger, a lot of hatred because like growing up in a house full of women, getting treated, can't say like a king, but getting treated very well, taken care of the way you're supposed to get taken care of at 10 years old, and then coming to a house where it's just fucking chaos and just animosity and anger and just pure just wild shit every day. There's a lot of anger there, a lot of it, and it bit me in the ass in the long run. But yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Do you remember the first time you realized your father wasn't someone who would protect you, but someone you had to protect yourself from?
Hell yeah, when that nigga put his hands on me and tried to kill me. That that's the God's honest truth. I remember that shit because it was, well, let's see which time. But the first time I got my ass beat, it was a literal like ass beating. It wasn't like no belt across the back. Like it was like getting the shit beat out of you because you stole some money. You know what I'm saying? It was like that nigga was yelling, cussing. I'ma fuck you up. I'ma kill you. Like I'll make another one. Like it was just some outrageous shit that you would see on TV, like some Medea type shit, like one of them stressful ass Medea movies that make you want to choke the motherfucker out. That's what it was like growing up. Mainly, mainly living on the edge, like walking on eggshells. But this time, like people say walking on eggshells, it was like walking on glass because you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, you look the wrong way, something's not put back exactly the way it's supposed to be put back. It would have it could wind up being a shit show. You know what I'm saying? It could wind up being like because I didn't put the cup in the right position the way it was supposed to be. I had an opportunity to get my ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Or if I got a D when I should have got a B because math is a hard subject. Like who the hell likes math? Weird people like math. I don't like math. Just things that were done, that were said, it made for a really tough childhood growing, especially at 11 years old when you're around one person, around three people for majority of your life. Aunt Wanda, my mom, and my grandmother, day in and day out, and then you go live with somebody that has a wife that you barely know, and then has different women that you barely know, but they know who you are, and then y'all two trying to acclimate to each other. And at 11, I already had myself established as like, excuse me, as like this is what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be a firefighter. I always wanted to be a cop. But then moving there with him, it was just kind of like, I don't know. I don't even want to live. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell at 11 years old has thoughts about not wanting to live? But given the circumstances at Plainfield back in the early 2000s, where it was not a very good place to raise a kid, I understood why my mom sent me to live with him. You know what I'm saying? Virginia's well better place. It's uh, educational system was better. The school districts were better. Like it was just a better place to live at the time, and I understood why I lived there. But at the same time, I was kind of like, I don't want to live there. You know what I'm saying? There were plenty many nights I thought about running away. Like there's plenty of times my mom came down on a trip going south that I was like, just take me back with you because this man is crazy. But I suffered. I stuck out and stuff. Did what I had to do, and thankfully, I'm still here now with five little crazy ass kids I get to see grow up.
You ready for this? This one's a toughie.
Oh Jesus!
How did living with both violence and emotional neglect shape your sense of safety?
Shape my sense of safety. For me, myself, and you know as well as I do, my sense of safety was very, was very protecting Tony was like the top priority. Which every person, the top priority is themselves, right? Like you got to protect you no matter what, because if you don't, then who is? But I don't think, I know I took it too far quite a few times. You know what I'm saying, with Rebecca and Anna. It it definitely exceeded the limits of like what you needed to do. And me myself, I was just kind of protecting myself in the wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody said something wrong to me, somebody say something wrong to me, I'm ready to throw hands, I'm ready to bust down, beat the fuck out of you, and not care the consequences. Clearly, it didn't get me where I thought it would have got me. But my sense of safety just was reckless. The simplest way to put it, it was reckless. I was Cousins didn't like me, friends didn't like me. I barely had any friends. It's just because I felt being raised in that type of environment where it was lot of anger, a lot of animosity, a lot of hostility. Like that's the way you live your life. You know what I'm saying? At 11, I was moldable. I was extremely vulnerable and extremely moldable to the person that I became. And it was not a very happy or satisfied person. I was mad for a lot of years for no fucking reason. I couldn't tell you why I was mad, didn't know why I was mad. I knew I was mad. And like Rel will tell you, Rel didn't like me, but Rel fucked with me because family. Like he said, he's big on family and he fucked with me, but I definitely put that man through the ringer. Like I put him through some shit. I've said some things, I've done some things. Like that nigga's afraid of heights, and I was like fucking with him in the mall. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, I knew he was afraid of heights, so I thought it was funny. Like funny. Wasn't even remotely funny. This man's 6 foot tall, is afraid of heights. Like he's already up there, and then you're gonna add to the fire by just being a dumbass. Like it was. I was confused up here and I was messed up here. So my sense of safety was like, okay, let's make fun of people and let's abuse people, and it got me to a point to where there was nothing. And when I didn't have anything, when the first time I sat in that fucking jail cell in Plainfield, and I was sitting up there crying my eyes out like a little bitch, I was like, this is what you get. Like you put yourself in this position because of what you did. But then I look back and I was like, it wasn't just me that did it. It was Tony that did it. My dad. It was him that did it because if like I remember a lot of Plainfield. You feel me? Like I remember a lot of living in Plainfield. And I remember like Wanda I used to get beat on by Wanda, but it was for justifiable reasons. It was like I didn't do my work right, or I took something, or like I did some shit that I shouldn't have done. Justifiable, absolutely. And Wanda never really like she wasn't an abusive person. She yelled a lot, she cussed a lot, she screamed a lot, but Wanda
She was
never really.
where
Yeah,
your dad was just
that nigga was physical.
yeah.
And that physicalness is what carried me through when like I said, first time I got locked up. That physicalness is what I thought was how you take care of situations. Oh, you ain't gonna listen to me? I'm gonna make you fucking listen to me. And, it 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 grew to a point to where that's the only thing I knew until I sat down and was like had 180 days to think about what I did. And then I came out and started to do better.
Ever feel guilty or ashamed for wishing your dad was different?
In a positive way, do I feel guilty for wishing he was?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. I don't feel guilty at all. I don't feel guilty now one fucking bit. If that nigga was different, like if he was like Dallas, it was like Dallas was a cool dad. You went through some shit with Dallas too, but that was a different situation. Dallas was like he was handed you. It was like take care of this. He's like I don't know what to fucking do with this. Like what do I do? But he still gave you
Do I
everything.
eat it? Do I change it?
Yeah, like he gave you everything. You had birthday parties, you had toys, you had. I remember that motherfucking Barbie car you got that was like that huge ass Barbie car, and that motherfucking house that you had that was
The
as big
Malibu,
as
the
764. I remember
wait,
that
no,
joint.
the Victorian one. It wasn't the Malibu. It
Yes,
was the Victorian one. I
yes. Like I remember that. Like Christmas for Jasmine was legit. Christmas for me was legit. Living in Plainfield. When it came to time to go to Virginia, it was like Christmas is here, but like you did bad in school a month ago, so you just gonna get a little bit of shit, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? But like I compare you to Dallas. I compare my dad to Dallas because, like I said, Dallas did stuff. Dallas was proactive. Dallas was there. Dallas he ain't missed not one play, not one dance. Dallas was at everything. I remember that like it was yesterday. Dallas was the man. He was on it. You know what I'm saying? And if he didn't know, he asked. Like my mom, Aunt Wanda, and Nana was the go-to spot for him to be like, "What do I do?" You know what I'm saying? And Tony thought he knew what he was doing because he raised my sister, but he raised my sister in the '70s. It's the early 2000s now. Like times have changed from the '70s years ago to what it is now. And like even then when he raised my sister, she was still fucked up. Like there's some shit that I know that my sister, I'm not gonna blast her, but there's some things that was done to my sister that she was like, You know what I'm saying? There was things done that was similar to between the two of us, but it was still like, hmm. But I wish that man would have realized like the damage he caused and like the things he said, the things he did, the situations that I was put in, the the mental anguish that he fucked up. Like there's a lot of there was a lot of things. Like even till this day, like sometimes when he comes to my house, I'm just like, why the fuck are you at my house? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you here? I don't like you. Why are you here? But being the bigger person, being the better man, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna show this nigga how it's supposed to be done. Like my boys, they go berserk when I'm not around. You know what I'm saying? Like their mom calls me all the time. Like, talk to your son. Like this nigga, he acting stupid. I'm saying, you seen Laney. Laney won't leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing I said that I wasn't gonna do that he did. Like, yes, I have five, but he has four with four different women. I have three baby moms, 5 kids. Leanne, Anna's got 3, Jess has got 1. So it kind of, my biggest thing was if I have more than him, I'm gonna be a better dad than him.
Hmm.
Was I perfect at it? Absolutely not. There's no book on it. There's no manual. There's no how to. But it's all in how you carry yourself as a man and how you show your kids how it's supposed to be done. And that's one thing I can say honestly, he didn't do. He didn't show me how it was supposed to be done. He just was like, this is what you're going to do because I'm the man. Like this is king of the castle type shit.
Like a child should be heard and not seen. Kind of, I mean, seen and not heard,
That
kind of.
part,
Yeah.
that part. And I do that to a certain degree with my kids when the conversation needs to be between Anna and Tony and not Jackson and Az. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be there. But most of the other time, I cuss in front of my kids. I tell my kids I love them. Like I support my kids and all they do. I drive 2 hours one way just to go to a football game for Jackson. So, like, putting in that effort and that work carries a big responsibility and a big um what's the word support, for lack of better words, for my kids. And that's where I'm at now with it. But I definitely wish that man would have done better. Like, cause I'd probably been in a whole different spot if he'd done better.
All right. This one is another hard one. What did you learn about love in that house? And what did you unlearn later?
Which house? We talking about Virginia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cause what's love? There was no love in that house. It was do what I say or get your fucking ass beat. Do what I say or be grounded. I didn't have when I was in Plainfield, as you very well know, every year was a birthday party, and it was always better than the last one. Like my birthday parties was always on point. Every year I had a birthday party in Plainfield, it was always on point. The minute I come to Virginia, like I said, I moved here when I was 11. I'm 36 now. From 11 to 18, 11 to 17, because I really didn't care about birthday parties at 18. From 11 to 17, there was no such thing as a birthday party. It was always, I was going to throw you a birthday party, but you got suspended from school. I was going to throw you a birthday party, but you failed this one. You failed geography. I was going to throw you a birthday, but it was always a but. There was no love. The only time he said he loved me was after he fucked me up and beat my ass and tried to throw me through a wall. And I'm like, nigga, that ain't love. That's just abuse because you could do it. You know what I'm saying? And now you felt bad because you beat the shit out of me and you want to make sure that I'm not gonna call the law or get you to lose your job type shit because you the police don't want you to lose your job. Like there was no love. There was not a drop of love. Like one thing I can honestly say about my mom, Awanda, and Anna was no matter what I did, no matter how I acted, no matter how bad I may have been, it was always love. Like Nana was always right. She smacked the hell out of you, but she would always love you, and you could take those smacks from Big Nana, and it carried weight. Like Aunt Wanda, you take them smacks, but they carried weight. You know what I'm saying? My mom was the same way. My mom's voice did a lot for a lot of my cousins. Like she said some things and it carried weight, even though she wasn't around as much as I wanted and Nana. But when Aunt Elaine showed up, it carried weight. So and then with this nigga, like it doesn't carry weight at all with me. Like it was a point where he would yell and it would just be like, here we go again. Like I remember one time a nigga beat me and I didn't cry and he beat me harder. Like beat me harder. Like I'm the punches and shit like that. And I was like, well, here we go. You know what I'm saying? So I can honestly say I didn't feel no love in that house. Not a drop. Not a drop. Me drinking. Fuck. Y'all, that was more fuller than this what it is right now. I just want y'all to know.
Yeah.
If y'all keeping track of the video, like it was fuller.
Did anger become your default emotion, or were you afraid of becoming like your dad?
Say it again. My default emotion.
Was anger your default emotion, or were you
Absolutely.
afraid of becoming like your dad?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anger was my default emotion. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was my default. Like I remember it was a time where like I was at work and the motherfucker just looked at me wrong and I was ready to fight. You know, like the most talk about me being short. Like that's the most obvious thing that people could say, and it would set me off. Like being bald, being short, like I'm black, like all the obvious emotions and obvious things people can say would set me off. I'm just like all right, let's fight. Even with my old ladies, like the two that come to mind, Anna and Rebecca. Those two, Rebecca more so than Anna, were literally like I told my counselor when I was going, I didn't see her face. It was my face, and I was Big Tony. And like she, whatever degreed level response she made, she said it makes sense because of the situation, because of the dynamic of how I grew up. It was like, and like when she was at first, her face was just she was like oh my god, really? I was like absolutely. My face was on her, and I was Big Tony, and it was just a default. No matter what you said, it was anger. It was anger, ready to fight, ready to throw hands, and ready to just fuck some shit up because I could.
Did you ever feel like you had to be the man of the house? Did that role crush you or give you control?
Hold on one second. All right, say it again. I'm sorry.
Did you ever feel like you had to be the man of the house? Did that role crush you or give you control?
Everything is about Virginia. No, I was not the man of the house. He had made it clear that this was his house. He is the king of this castle, and I will do what he says, or he will make me do what he says.
No, I'm saying when you got older,
Oh, when
you
I
got an
got older,
adult. Did you find
I ain't
yourself?
the, I ain't the man of the house. This. It takes two people. It don't take one person. Two people. Like with Anna, excuse me, when we got the apartment, it's in a Culpeper. It was our apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't overrule her, she didn't overrule me. And like when I step like here now, when I step outside in that garage in that shop, that's my area. You know what I'm saying? That's my area. That's where I do all the stupid shit I want to do. Listen to my music however loud I want to listen to. That's where I control. But as far as like the house goes, this Laney's house. We just live here and pay the bills so she has someplace to live. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Y'all do. Y'all do. That's what that's it. Lady is like, I'm the king of this castle.
Yeah, this is her house. We just pay the bills and she lives here.
Um, what parts of yourself do you think only survived because you endured it all?
Believe it or not, why my screen go low? Believe it or not, that box back there is she's the reason why I kept pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because she made sure that no matter what, I knew I was loved. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was protected. I knew that if I needed to, I make that phone call. I go back to Plainfield, and that's where I'm gonna stay. But also being being a Pisces, you know what I'm saying? We like to fight. We like to put up that I'm not gonna let you win type shit. I stayed here because I wasn't gonna let him win. You know what I'm saying? I might have got beat down a little bit. I might have got, my shit pushed in, but at the end of the day, I was definitely not gonna let that define me and define who I was as a person. That's why Like I said, like I've never once said, no matter where I lived, I never once said like this is mine. Like you're gonna do what I say. Like in certain situations, it's kind of like yes, you're gonna do what I say, but the situation has to call for that. It's not just I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna do it type situation. So like no, I don't establish dominance. I don't want to establish dominance. Like what does that prove? What does that have to do with anything being a man? That doesn't define who a man is being dominant. You have to be a protector, not just a dominant person. Like because I'm a man, I have a dick and balls, it makes me the man. Like no, it doesn't, sir. It doesn't.
If you had been given safety and presence, what kind of boy do you think you could have been?
The one I was before Virginia, I probably would. I probably would have went to college. I probably wouldn't be a mechanic. Then again, maybe because I did always take everything apart.
You saw my face, because why you lying?
Like it's weird. Like like firefighting was number one. It was always number one. Then the police. Then just like every other kid want to do what their parents do. My uncle was a truck driver on my dad's side. My mom's a bus driver. So it was kind of those four things. I would have pursued probably one of those four a lot sooner than what I did. Before becoming a tow truck driver and all that other shit. I probably would have pursued fire department or a police officer before anything else. But who's to say? I can't really. I can assume what I would have done, but I'm gonna assume I would have been. I'd probably be a firefighter because that's still like top priority. But at 36 years old, who the fuck going what man is gonna want to be a firefighter at 36 years old? It ain't me.
A geriatric firefighter?
It ain't me. I'm not doing all that. 150 pounds of gear climbing up steps. Shit. Miss me with that. I barely want to get out the bed.
What do you wish your father had said to you just once?
When I was younger, I wish he would have told me he was proud of me. Like, there's an instance. So I wrestled. You remember me wrestling, right? So my first year wrestling was in seventh grade when I was at Nye River Middle School. I went I went 14-1. Right? I beat the kid the first time. I mean, the kid beat me the second time. He showed up. He was barely at my my wrestling dates. There was always some excuse where I'm staying late at work. This, that, whatever. But I never forget what Gail, one of his wives, I think she was the second wife, third wife. I don't know. But she was like, I kept getting frustrated, kept getting mad, and she was like, pretend it's your dad out there. The minute she said pretend it's your dad out there, and I was on a roll. That's why I went 14-1. And like my corner was so big. Like as small as it was still so big. I had Gail came, Big Nana, my mom, Aunt Wanda. My three people that's always gonna be there was always standing right there in my corner. Like my mom and Aunt Wanda and Nana drove down to a wrestling meet just for the hell of it. Like it was nothing special about it. It was just let's come. And they surprised me. I didn't even know they was coming. But they showed up. I won my match, and that's what that was. But I do wish he came to more things that were a big deal. Like football games. He tried to surprise me at a football game. Like nigga, I'll live with you. Why are you surprising me at a football game? Just show up. When I went to the state championships, like that was a big deal because as a first time wrestler, I'm going to the state championships to defend my 150-pound title for the whole state of Virginia. Like this is everybody in the state of Virginia coming, and we leave the day of the tournament. I don't get any sleep. I don't get nothing I needed in order to be ready for my tournament, and then you're mad because I lost. I came down here for nothing. I wasted my fucking time. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. Well, sir, I didn't have any time to rest. Like we got to the tournament, we were late. I had to weigh in, and then I didn't know I wasn't wrestling until 3.5 hours later. Like I had 3.5 hours of nothing, but yet I had a 2.5 hour car ride. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and then when I did wrestle, I lost that meet. I lost that first one, but that still kept me in the same ballot as being first place for 150 pounders. But I didn't get a chance to finish because he didn't come back. Wasted outwinded my mom and nana's time coming down, and then they drove back home. Went all the way. We was all the way in fucking Hampton Roads. Like we wasn't close. We was in Hampton Roads. We deep. We down by the water at
Hmm.
Christopher Newport, and that type of thing. That's the biggest thing. Now when he says it, I'm just like, okay, I'm 36. Like I don't really care if you're proud of me or not. I've established myself that I'm gonna do better, and so far I've done better. You know what I'm saying? But that was my biggest thing. Is I wish he would. I wish he would have said he was proud sooner, rather than when it was too late. You know
What are you still trying to heal, or maybe still trying to understand?
why? Why were you the way you were? Why did you think that it was okay to wake me up at 4 in the morning because you were still mad about what happened the day before? You know what I'm saying? Why did my grandmother have to step in between you from beating me because you thought I was doing something wrong when you just didn't understand what the paperwork says? You know what I'm saying? Uh why did you pretend like you weren't an abusive parent? You know what I'm saying? Why did you make it seem like white people were bad when in fact both the houses that we lived in were well over $400,000 houses living in a well-to-do neighborhood? Why did you think that white people weren't going to be my friends? Like, you know, when you put me in a situation, anybody's going to adapt to where they live, right? I'm not going to go out my way looking for a particular. Just because I'm black doesn't mean I have to date black. Just because like I don't have to do what you did. Like you just put me in a weird position to where you were mad because I didn't do what you wanted me to do, and it felt weird. Like one was the worst ass beating I got in my fucking life, and I remember that day for obvious reasons because September 11th was the next day. That day I got beat because he was unhappy with the way I was in school. Well, if you look back, why was I bad? Because my home life was a fucking mess. Like my home life was a complete shit show. Like I couldn't do anything, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't have any friends, couldn't do shit. My home life was complete chaos. Every time I turned around, I got in trouble for something. I got suspended from school. I got kicked out of school for fighting, for just being a complete asshole, and it never computed that you were the cause of my problems. You were the reason why I'm being kicked out of school. Then we moved to another house that's $250,000, $250,000 house. Same situation. White people with one black neighbor who's happened to be gay. She turned out to be my best fucking friend. Yet you're mad. Why? That's my reasoning and understanding is why. If I'd have been in a better situation, I'd have been a better person. But instead, I became the person that I became. You know what I'm saying? And then you show emotion to me, not knowing what my mom did every day for 30 something years. You in September 11th happens, you don't know anything about her. You don't know her route. You don't know what she does or whatever the case may be, but yet you want to show me emotion and show me some sort of love when you don't know. Like he's like, "Oh, your mom's okay." I'm like, "Nigga, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just been in school all day, but yeah, you're telling me mom's okay. Why? Give me a little backstory before you just tell me she's okay." Like he just played himself as to being like this great person when everybody knows the truth. And I just want to know, why did you pretend like you knew what you were doing? You know what I'm saying? He would fault my mom for not being home and not doing this, not doing that. It was a blame game, and the blame game got real old real quick. You know what I mean? And that's just what I want to know. I was like, I want to know why. Do I care now? Absolutely not. Like at 36, she's in that box back there. He's 76 years old. I've gotten to the point where I've heard enough truth from my mom, from my Wanda, from his brother, from his sister before she passed away. I had enough truth behind everything to where now it's just like, okay. And my grandmother, his mom, told me a lot of things that seemed to settle a lot of shit for me before she passed away. So that made me feel a lot better about things.
Okay. Second to last question. If the child version of you walked into this room right now, what would you say to him?
Run, nigga!
How did I know you were going to say the most unserious thing? How? Yo, go away. Go away.
Nah, real talk. Real talk. I would tell him to stay. I would tell him to stay. I'd tell him, keep your motherfucking ass at 764. Keep it there. Fight like you have no other job to do in your life. Because if not, you're going to be fucked up. And that's real talk. Like you're going to be fucked up if you stay. If you come down here, if you if you deal with this man, you're going to be fucked up. It was contrary to belief, as much as she worked, I went a lot of places. I was almost never home. Contrary to belief, I was almost never home. If I wasn't in New York City, I was in the Poconos. If I wasn't in the Poconos, we was down at Six Flags. If I wasn't at Six Flags, we was down in Florida. We was doing something. We were somewhere. And those memories, I will honestly say, are the best memories of my fucking life. The best memories, hand down, of my life, where I got to experience things that not a lot of people got to experience with their mom, a single mom. I got to experience Disney World. I got to experience Disney World on more than one occasion. Here you went what, 3 times, 2 times? I went
Mhm.
so much I got bored. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a birthday party in the Poconos. I got to go to New York City almost every day because why? Because mom, can I go with you? Absolutely. Come on, let's go. Granted, I had to wake up at dog ass early in the morning to get on the bus, but yeah, that was it. Was it mundane? Was it stupid? Was it repetitive? Was I bored out of my mind? All of the above. All of the above was true, but it was because I was with my mom. I got to see different things. I got to do different things. It was something that at a 7-year old, 6-year old, 5-year old, 8-year old, it was something that was cool. And I thought, just being in the bus, being with my mom, being with, seeing different people, seeing 56 different people every day. It could be on a random Tuesday. I'm going somewhere. You know what I mean? And those experiences immediately left when I got to here and moved in with this man all of the fun, all of the exciting things, all of the, I wanted taking you to the mall just because she wanted to go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Or Nana telling
Just
you to
because you wanted to
get
go to Lord and Taylor's.
exactly. Or Nana giving you $1, telling you to go get 4 bags of pork rinds and bring them back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Or my mom coming home at a random time on a random Wednesday in a bus because she's done for the day. Or you want to go back to, she's was in Woodbury or was in Bridgewater and is going back to Leonardo. Want to go? Absolutely, I want to go. You know what I mean? Like it was more exciting living in Plainfield, more fun living in Plainfield. And then here, he thought he was establishing something and making me a man, but instead he made me a bitch. You know, and that's real talk. Like he made me a bitch because he made me a woman beater, which I never in my life wanted to be, and he made me an angry person. He made me a nasty individual, and that right there was something I didn't want to be. Because you remember me, I was a goofy, fun loving, great cousin to be around. And then when I go to Virginia, I was nobody wanted to be around me. You know what I mean? Like it was a complete slap in the face when you come back and your favorite cousin don't want to fuck with you because
You're so
like you're
angry.
you're angry, very
And you're a
angry,
dick. You were a
right?
dick.
Like to me that did more damage than than actually getting beat. Was like the family that that loves you and cares for you don't want to fool with you because you're an angry person. And why was I an angry person? Because of the house that I lived in, because of the way I grew up. And that year I did in Plainfield, it took me everything I had to go back to Virginia that year I went to Plainfield High School. It took me a year. Like I realized I was already established in Virginia, and I would have to start all over again if I stayed up here, if I stayed up there. And that was not something I was willing to do at the time. At 18, 17 years old, I wasn't willing to I wasn't willing to start fresh again when I had already I can't say a fan base, but actually had people already already I had already made friends and already had like relationships already established, and then had to come up here and have to redo everything like that, and then live in Wanda, and then it was a lot. It was a lot to manage, to maintain, to want to do, to want to understand. And I didn't want to. Now that I think about it, I wish I would have. But at the same time, I would tell me, younger 11-year-old me, 10-year-old me, because I turned 11 in Fredericksburg. I would tell 10-year-old me, don't come up here. If I could talk to my mom now at 36, what I know now at 36, if I could go back in time and tell her, don't let me go, I wouldn't have went. I'd have made sure she understood the game plan and would not let me go.
Final question.
That's a deep one.
It is.
Mm.
If the people who were supposed to protect you were the ones who hurt you or weren't there at all, what does protection look like now?
Should I protect myself now? But as a dad, Austin was my first kid. And you remember the shit I went through with Austin, trying to get that trying to get that right. All 5 of them, I will I will drop kick a person. I don't give a fuck who you are for my kids. I will go above and be even if it's another kid. I will. I'm sorry, my baby not gonna be feeling some type of way because you want to feel some type of way. Like I'm like that dude on TikTok. He beat the shit out of this girl's dad because his daughter kept bullying this dude's dad or this dude's daughter, and he beat the shit out of the dad to set an example. Like he jumped him. That would be me. Like I'll protect myself any way I can but also understand like I know the consequences that come with it. So given the situation, given the dynamic, whether I need to protect myself to the fullest extent that I can, or if I can talk my way out of the situation, that's going to be my first outlook. Like I'm not going to my whole thing now is I'm not going to be abusive. Like my kid can Austin threatened to shoot up his school because some kids was bullying him. Most people be mad as hell. Like, why the fuck would you say that? Da, 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 da. I called him up laughing. I called him up laughing. I was like, bro, you can't be saying type of shit. Like, this is how you get locked up. Like that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? I talk my way into it and educate before I just sit up here and try to beat somebody to make them realize my way is a better way. And I'm like, I'll talk to you before I get to that point. And like I have arguments with Jess all the time. Like, no, I can't say all the time, but we have arguments. And I'll be like, listen, we need to come back to this, or I just don't talk. Like if I give you the silent treatment, that means I'm at that point to where like shit can either go one or two ways, and I'm not trying to make it go the second way. I'm either gonna say some crazy shit or I'm gonna do some crazy shit, and I'd rather not. Or, but sometimes words hurt worse than physical activities, and you know, going to jail twice for the same fucking thing is kind of a you know insanity. You know, doing the same thing expecting different results. Like and those results were the same thing both times. It was just like one time was the last time really put a damper on me because I didn't protect myself the way I should have protected myself. You know, like knowing how things were here and knowing that I should have done better, it made for me to realize that if you don't get your shit straight, you're gonna spend more time in here. You know, and at 31, 32, she died as is five. She died 4 years ago.
Hmm.
It it really set me off to be there for my kids. You know, to mend the relationship with Anna, Leanne. That's just a lost cause, and make sure Jess understands. You know where we need to be in our relationship, or if it isn't a relationship, whatever it is between me and Jess. And I'm just speaking in generalities. You know what I'm saying? Whatever if we don't work out, whatever the dynamic may be, it needs to be understood that Laney is always going to be protected no matter what. And as far as me protecting me, I've realized that communication, talking, like thinking things through before, like I'll nitpick the hell out of myself in an argument after the argument's done. Like you shouldn't have said that. Like that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have approached the situation differently. You know what I'm saying? Like there's in certain ways I could have I like in football, when you're done, if you lose the game, you go back, you watch film, you pick apart how you could have done things better, made yourself look better, made yourself done better. Like that's where I'm at. Like I could have done things a lot better in this situation than in that situation. And it's it's better, a lot better, because I'm not in jail and haven't been in jail. And there have been times at work where I want to beat the shit out of people at work. And like this dude called me, he dropped the NIGGR, and I didn't, I didn't break his face. You know what I'm saying? Like that was for me was a milestone.
You
That
should
for me
have,
was that me
but
that for me that was a milestone.
you should have, but we just gonna call it growth.
Yes, that's what we gonna call it, growth.
We just gonna call it growth, okay?
Because when I tell you like the tears were flowing. Like I was irate. And my boss is a white guy named Wayne Perez that was in the military for 20 years. So you know how that went down. So But for me, that was my peak that I've matured when, and I've done very good at protecting myself when I didn't absolutely kill this kid for calling me that. And now look at me. I got a house, got three cars, got a good job, got a commercial driver's license. Like, if this was me 4 years ago, who knows where I would have been? Who knows? But I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, again, we're gonna go back to that box because when she died, I think all that anger and animosity went with her. Like all that went with her for the simple fact of if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I could either wind up in a bar in the wrong situation or wind up in a jail cell for longer than 6 months or 3 weeks. Like it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I could be 6, 7, 8 years. I could be in behind bars. And I like drinking, and I like doing fun stuff and working on cars and not being in a jail cell. So
And
protect
plus, orange looks hideous on you.
it and tan. I don't like being tan. But to answer the question in its entirety, my daughter is the reason why I made a lot of changes. And that right there is was a hard pill and still is a hard pill. For one, she came 3 years after my mom died. And two, she's named after my mom. And
Her
three,
is.
three, she has tendencies of my mom, which for me scared the shit out of me. I'm used to being a boy dad, and here I am being a girl dad, and that right there is a lot has a lot to do with growing up and realizing that a lot of my things needed to go by the wayside in order to fulfill my dreams, my goals, and be a man in that aspect. Because that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is.
I know you
All
got
right.
another.
Nope, that's it. That was the last one. Thank you for walking with us through this story, through the silence and the searching and the scars. Sometimes what's missing tells the truth louder than what's present. And in that truth, there is grief, yes, but also strength. If something in this conversation stirs something in you, let it. That's how we begin to name the ache, to break the pattern, and to tell the story that didn't get told. This has been Things Lost in My Absence. And remember, what we build in the wake of absence can become a legacy all in its own. I want to say thank you for letting me interview you. You didn't cry. I'm surprised. Them
I
questions was
almost did.
hard. I know. Them questions was hard.
Yeah, it was deep.